Number 5 on my fantasy playlist the week of June 10th, 1995, up from number 8 the previous week, The Scat Man by John Scatman. This did not do anything here in America, nothing. It was a hit everywhere in the world except for the US and Canada. When I first heard this song on Hitline, again, it all comes down to Hitline back in the 90s. Hitline played the hell out of this record. When I first heard it, I flipped over it. This is one of the most original dance records I have ever heard. Dance hip-hop record. John Scatman doing the Scatman. His real name was John Paul Larkin. He was 53 years old when he came out with this record. He became an international superstar, except here in America, and that was unfortunate. As a matter of fact, the only outlet that played this song back in the 90s was Hitline, Music's Hitline. It was not played on MTV. The FM radio stations refused to touch it. It was banned for all practical purposes. That's the only word I can come out with. Just ban. Nobody just bothered to play it here. I mean, what's it gonna do? You gonna blow away your audience if you play it on an FM station? Your ratings are just gonna fall right through the roof. Well, I said it before and I'll say it again. Program and music directors of FM stations are not the most open-minded entities you'll ever run across. All right, off the soapbox, and let's get into some details on John Paul Larkin. He grew up traumatically. He had a stuttering problem, and that interfered with his speech. He said that he would say the same sentence. Well, he would try to finish a sentence and wound up repeating it about 5 or 6 times. But he overcome it to some extent by learning how to play the piano. He learned how to play the piano when he was 12 years old. A few years later, he learned how to scat. He was able to turn his so-called weakness into his greatest asset. He learned how to scat sing, and he did it by listening to the records of Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong, some of the old jazz greats. By the 1970s and 1980s, he was playing the jazz clubs in Los Angeles. A piano player. He's a professional piano player. And 1990, he moved to Germany, moved to Berlin. He found a vibrant jazz culture that appreciated what he was doing. So he started playing at jazz clubs in Germany, and for the first time he started to scat sing. His agent had an epiphany. Why not combine the scat singing with hip-hop and dance? Let's make it modern and contemporary. Well, by then, John Larkin was 50. He was over 50 years old. And when you're over 50, you're a little bit more, well, let's say, a little bit not as open as you were when you were younger. Nonetheless, he kind of warmed to the idea of doing some scat singing along to a hip hop beat, a dance beat. They released a song, Scatman. Oh my goodness, that took a while for it to take off. It didn't take off overnight. But when it did, I'll read you this. It went to number 1 in Austria, Belgium, Denmark, France, Japan, Norway, Italy, Switzerland. It went to number 3 in England. The song was released as an inspiration for for children with stuttering problems to overcome their adversity. But it went to number 60. Number 60 on Billboard's Hot 100. This is just a disgrace. It is. It's just a disgrace. They're just... Alright, let me just get off the soapbox. I'm done. There's nothing I can do about it now. It's been 20 years ago. Number 5 on my fantasy playlist, Scatman by John Scatman.